Hello and welcome back to the Midweek Show. We have plenty coming up for you this evening, but we're going to start with the Essex Senior Cap post-match reaction. Unfortunately, it wasn't the result we wanted, but here's Dave Hussey and the captain, Ryan Lowe, speaking after yesterday's defeat.
Dave, disappointing defeat in the cup final here, but how hard was it to find the positives when you're talking about positives being the main thing in developing young players?
No, of course. We're not going to get away from the fact this is development football, but I'm not going to stand here and lie and say we didn't want to win this competition, because I'm absolutely gutted we didn't, and more importantly, so are the players. They're really hurting in there, and as much as it is development football and we're working with some young players as well as some senior ones, it hurt. It hurt, and it's a real tough lesson for them to take, going to penalties, missing some chances in the second half. Hopefully they can take some valuable lessons from it.
And was it frustrating, the fact that it actually went to penalties after how well we played in that second half?
Yeah, definitely. I think first half we were poor, and I think everyone recognised that in the change room at half time, and we knew we had to come out and play with a better ball speed, be a bit more patient with our build-up, and a bit later and faster movements in terms of the higher end of the pitch. And I thought we'd done that in the second half. I thought we broke them down and created some good chances. And on another day, maybe we convert a couple, but fair play to Redbridge, because I thought they were excellent tonight, and so hard to break down, as every team's been in this competition, but they just had something to cling on to, and I thought they used that really well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a case all the way through the competition of our young players playing against senior men in football, and they'll use that experience really well as well.
Yeah, definitely. As I just said there, I don't think. I think this competition gives them that. I don't think we have that in our normal competitions. In our leagues programme, playing the likes of Cheltenham, Millwall, Cardiff, this throws a completely different test. One, it's in a stadium. Two, it's against men, and three, it's against senior teams that are winning or trying to win every week and competing to the best of their ability. So the lessons are invaluable, and I think we've just got to take them lessons, and hopefully the players will learn from them.
Ryan, the biggest feeling in the dressing room must be disappointment after losing the cup final tonight.
Yeah, it was a big disappointment. I think first half I didn't think we'd done enough to win the game. I think we improved in the second half, but I don't think it was enough on the day. And obviously penalties is a 50-50, anything can happen. Unluckily for the boys, we didn't manage to put them away.
Across the course of the season, you don't get many chances to play in the cup final, have that pressure of the penalties, so it's probably good for a lot of the younger group in the team that played tonight. Yeah,
I think it's a big learning curve for the boys. I think not many people have played in the cup final before, so it was a new experience, but I think this is where you want to play in the games. You want to be put under these big pressure games, and hopefully you can show what you can do.
Yeah. And across the season as well, the experience of playing with more senior players, people like Sam Hornby, Riley Harbottle, that's going to stand you in good stead as well.
Yeah, I think it's always a good opportunity to play with them sort of players. You know, Sam, experience, Riley obviously, and Samson. I've played with him from youth going up. It's always a good feeling to play with him, and he's obviously back from injury now, so that's a good opportunity for him.
I mean, when it got to the end of the game, I mean, how was it decided that who was going to take the penalties? Was it something that you'd already pre-arranged and practiced for, or was it just who felt they fancied them?
I think it was just, we all got in a circle. Dave said who wants it, everyone put their hand up, who did and who didn't, and then from there we didn't plan the 6th or 7th, it was just whoever fancied it at the time. Right,
okay. And you personally, were you always going to step up and take one, did you think?
Yeah, I've taken penalties quite a lot, going from the Youth Cup, going up, so I fancy myself taking the penalty.
It's good to hear from Dave and Ryan, and as we said, not the result we wanted, but a great learning curve for many of the boys who are still developing. And someone who's helped us get into this year's BBC Essex Senior Cup final was Brad Ionvian. And this week, we're celebrating EFL's Youth Development Week, in which we celebrate players who have come up through the academy and made it into the first team. And Brad, in his breakthrough season during this campaign, has scored 5 goals for the first team, having joined the youth academy at the age of 17. As part of the week, we made a little documentary in which we look at Brad's journey so far.
And then Greenwich will go forward, and is he onside? He is! Ionvian with his chance for his first ever goal! First ever to professional goal, and the U's have got 3. Would you believe it? Celebrations all around, and the U's fans, there's nearly 400 of them, cascade down the gangways towards the pitch area, trying to engulf as many Colchester United players as possible. And right at the bottom of that scrum is Bradley Ion Vien, and my word, what a sumptuous top-class finish. Onside, broke into the penalty area, and then just delicately lifted it over Jake Turner, and the U's are heading towards their first win of the season, and they've done it in emphatic style at a canter. Gillingham 0, Colchester United 3.
Yeah, started at a local club in London where I used to live, Teviot. Played there for a couple of years, and then got scouted by Charlton and got in there. And I was at Charlton for a few years after that as well, before being released. And then from there it was just basically trying to fight to get up through the ranks. Obviously, like any other players and their journey, you know, you've had a couple of trials here and there. Had a Gillingham trial, had a Watford trial. Yeah, so they obviously didn't all go well. And then I was at Maidstone for large periods, a large period of my time before joining here. Got some men's football at Hive, and I was at my school at PSA, but Maidstone was a large, where I was for a large period, and then I got my trial here. Had 3 trial games before I was offered. First one was one of my worst performances I've ever had. Honestly, it's so bad. And then luckily you have people who, I don't know what Dave saw in me at the time, but I'm grateful to him.
Jack Fault put on a trial game at Brentford on a Friday afternoon, Talent ID, which he was brilliant at, to be fair, Jack, and we've had some players from them sort of occasions. I went along, I picked out 3 lads in that game, a centre-half, a left-back, and then Bradley. If I'm being really honest with you, I think out of them 3, the best performers on the day were the centre-half and the left-back. I didn't think Brad had a great game, but I did see his athleticism, his frame, his desire, not so much his ability on the ball, but I think it was something we could work with. And then he came in literally the following week and trained with our 18s, and again you could see everything I just spoke about: his frame, his desire, his athleticism, and then his technical ability sort of grown as he got more comfortable in the group.
They saw something in me, and then I got to the next trial game, did a bit better. I'm pretty sure that might have been Averley, scored a hat-trick, and then had Sheffield United away as my first game for Colchester, first competitive game, and lost 4-0, but it was alright. And then scored my first goal out there against Sheffield Wednesday, and then I was offered, which was at that point one of the best days of my life, because to start back in the football system again, really good for my family and me. And then yeah, it was just about gelling with the team and getting involved, getting into it, working hard.
As Brad got more comfortable within the group, his ability grew and grew and grew, and his technical ability then started coming to the forefront with his athleticism, with his desire and his frame. I remember him playing in numerous trial games. I remember one at Averley where he was excellent. He was completely unplayable, and everybody was really excited about what he could do. One thing I vividly remember is how hard he worked in his trial, and when we signed him, I remember saying to him and his dad that how hard you've worked there to get this contract, you've got to go again. And to be fair to him, he has. There's been a couple of times I've had to pull him and just say, look, come on, you're not. I always use the sentence or the line with him about you're always on trial. So every day is a trial now. Just because you've got your contract, nothing changes. And there's only been a couple of times I've had to pull him and say, do you remember you're still on trial, even though you might be scoring for the first team, but you want your next deal and you want your next. action and more starts, etc. So yeah, he then signed, and then when he signed, we was actually in the FA Youth Cup run with our under-18 side. We just beat Arsenal. We had Newcastle away, and I remember seeing him in that St James's Park in that setup, completely overawed by it. Really, not just in the game, but actually just looking around the stadium, and I think it was a big moment for him because he hadn't been in a professional club until we signed him, and then we had Hartlepool away in the first team. We wanted to take some young lads with us, Che Cooper, Carl Bennett, and then obviously Bradley being one, and he came on for around 15 minutes towards the end of the game, and he was good. He was good. Again, I think the occasion was probably a bit much for him at the time, and I think he'd probably say that as well. But it really gave him that grounding of this is where you could be if you continue working this hard.
Me and Khan did very well that season. I think Khan got 40-something goals, and I was just a bit far behind, but I thought I did well that season as well. Going to and from school as well, so it was a bit tough because I was training twice a week with the boys, and then in the nights with the 16s, so that was tough. But then ended up getting my debut at the end of the first season here, which was good. Again, thanks to Dave, Jack, Liam, and Wayne Brown, the gaffer at the time, for the recognition. And then I had my second season here, predominantly 21s football. Had a loan spell at Malden, and then came back in 21s. Scored about, I think it was 20 goals scored that season when I came back in from Jan. 19th man against Leighton Orient. That was my only first team interaction last season, but it was still a good season. And then this season I've broken through, thanks to all the people involved in Ghana and everyone, you know, for the work they've done with me. And it's been a good season so far. Obviously, scoring my debut goal, getting my full professional debut. I mean, not debut goal, scoring my first goal and my full professional debut. And obviously just fully breaking in now, being in the changing room, being in and around it, closer to the boys. And thank you to all of them as well, because they made me feel very welcome. So yeah, it's been good.
After the Hartlepool game, yeah, then starting the next season, he started with the 21s. He'd scored bags of goals in the 18s, and then really started impacting 21s games. Again, not just with his physicality, but actually his technical ability when linking, and more than anything with his finishing techniques. And again, that's something that, fair play to him, we've worked with him loads on, 1v1 situations and finishing different types of finishes, not just clean ones that he's good at, but actually like reacting to things in the box. And that grew. And again, like I said to you at the very start, he's worked so hard and constantly wants to improve. I mean, even now I sit down and do his clips with him, and so do the other coaches. I know Nicky and Danny have been brilliant with him in terms of continuing that development. And then it got to the point where he started knocking on the first team door. And that was really exciting to see, because we knew what ability he had. He'd showed us in the 18s, he'd showed us in the 23s. To actually see that come out on the first team pitch, and I was lucky enough to be part of the staff at Gillingham away when he goes on and scores the goal that probably sticks in my mind more than any other goal that he scored for us, just because of his celebration and how much passion come out in that. I remember doing his clips with him after that game, and seeing his dad celebrating in the away end and nearly falling onto the pitch, and I think that meant a lot to him, as it did the football club at the time, because it was a great result. And then I think the key bit has been managing him, his expectations. Obviously he's had some real highs, i.e. the Hartlepool when he made his debut, Gillingham away when he scored that excellent goal, and scoring 5 goals for the first team this season from where he was last season, where he was just trying to break in. So I think there's a lot more to come from Brad, and that's the really exciting bit. Keeping his feet on the floor is going to be something that I'm going to try and help with. He's got a really supportive family as well, which will really help him. But real exciting times.
I don't think anybody's journey is easy. So yeah, I have had a lot of ups and downs, but it's always good to come out the other side of it. And 5 goals to the first team has been good this season. Obviously, to get 4 in the league is really good. Happy to be able to contribute. It's been a great journey, and like I said before, thank you to everybody involved for getting me here so far, and hopefully there's more to come.
And it's probably going to be a difficult question, but if you had to pick just one thing, which is the most exciting thing about Brad, what would it be, do you think?
I think we get a lot of players at Colchester, and I think League Two, even League One to a certain extent, where they're either really good physically but maybe struggle technically, or really good technically but maybe struggle physically, or really good at both but professionalism isn't great, or there's always something. I think the thing that really excites me with Brad is the fact that he's really athletic, he's got a good attitude in terms of he wants to improve all the time, and technically I think he's good as well. And I'm not saying he's excellent at all three of them, because I don't think he would be if he was excellent at all three of them, but I think he's got good base levels in all three of them, and that excites me, because if he can combine all three and be good at all three consistently, then I think that excites me and puts him in real good stead going forward to play at our level first and foremost and be successful for us, but then who knows after that. And
now looking ahead to next season, I suppose your main aim will be to consistently be in and around the first team and scoring even more goals.
100%. The aim now is to be a permanent starter. I've come in this season, I've been coming off the bench predominantly every game, apart from Harrogate and MK Dons. I've been coming off the bench, and next season the aim is to be starting all those games and play all of them, score a lot of goals, and get the club up the Football League.
It's great to hear from Brad and Dave in that documentary as well, and it's very exciting to see how far Brad can go if he keeps training and he keeps pushing on. And speaking of goals, you've seen plenty of good goals from Brad in that documentary. And we're moving on to the goal of the month as voted by you, and it was won by Noah Chilvers. So let's see the goal and hear from the man himself.
Midway point of the Accrington half, 0-0 on BBC Essex. Chilvers continues his run up to the edge of the area, fires one left-footed into the back of the net. Now a defender was taken out towards the edge of the area by Tom Hopper. That creates the space for Chilvers, who fires one left-footed into the far corner of the net. Colchester United 1, Accrington 0.
Noah, goal of the month winner for February. Yeah. For your strike against Accrington, just tell us a little bit about the strike.
Yeah, I guess I just picked it up. Saw the space to run into. It's a good assist from Hops, really, putting the fella on the floor, which kind of made it a bit easier for me. But yeah, once it opened up, I just thought if I have a strike, and as soon as I left my foot as one of them, I thought it was in, and yeah, it was a good feeling. It had been the first in a while, so yeah, it was a good feeling.
Has it been difficult this season? Obviously, we know you can get goals, and it's not been your most prolific season. Has it been difficult not getting those strikes?
It's one of them things, I suppose. Goals are kind of things at times you can't control. It's just about getting the rub of the green. I've hit the post a few times this year. Had a lot of near misses and things like that. So it's just one of them things. Hopefully that will turn from now to the end of the season. I can get on the score sheet a few more times.
And strikes from distance, we know it's something you can do. You've done it plenty of times in the past. Is it something that you practice a lot?
Yeah, we do a lot of finishing after training. It's always something I've done throughout since I've been playing football since a kid, always like trying to shoot from distance and things. So yeah, it's something that we do a lot in training, and yeah, it's a skill of mine that obviously has high rewards at times. So yeah, it's something that I do practice a lot.
And going back to that Accrington game, it was a point that we got at home. Obviously, we need to get plenty more points on the board, and we've got lots of home games to come as well. How do you think that's going to play out?
Yeah, that's definitely a positive for us. I think 7 of our last 11 games now are at home after a spell of what seemed to be on the road all the time. So yeah, that's obviously very positive for us. Hopefully the pitch can get sorted out in time for Saturday, and we can get that game going and really hit the ground running straight from the off that game and get a run going. Yeah, that's the plan.
It's a great strike from Noah there. And now moving on to something completely different. Some of our first team players took time out of their busy schedules to visit some of Community Foundation's projects. So let's have a look what they got up to this week.
It's obviously really good to connect with the young lads, and yeah, I think it's good. Obviously, we come down there and do our part, and yeah, try and give them as much help as possible.
We obviously enjoy it. Like, we see the smile on their faces, and a lot of them will be Colchester fans, so it'll be a big thing for us to come down and play with them today.
So we've got some of the first team players come down to watch the boys train today, and as you can see, they're obviously really buzzing to have them down. Something a little bit different for them than the standard training session. To have some professionals come and watch them train and get involved can only be good for the players that we have here.
We get to play football and we have fun. And we get to kick balls, which is fun, and we get to see our friends sometimes.
Is he back freshly as well?
My brother? No. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
We've both enjoyed it. Me and Harry have come down today. Enjoy watching the little lads and stuff. Enjoy playing football.
When I was a kid, I was at Aldershot, and we didn't really have much of this interaction with the first team, so I didn't really get to experience it, but I can definitely see it's a good thing to be doing, obviously with the young lads, and coming down here and just being a part of it is, yeah, it's really good.
It's great to see some of the first team lads enjoying their time with the Community Foundation. And that brings us to the end of the show. Remember that we're taking on Mansfield Town on Saturday. It's an early kick-off, 12:30. If you can't be there, make sure you tune into Sky as we are on the telly. And we'll see you back here next week for some more pre-match show action.